You're probably going to get tired of benchmarking Cyberpunk at some point.
Let's take bets. Carrie, when did it come out?
Oh, he'll tell you the exact date.
2014.
Are you doing this to your teammates, or these are just other humans? like
Hey everybody, welcome back to the NerdNest podcast. I'm your host, Bill Fairchild, and today I am joined by Russ Crandall. How's it going, Russ?
Good. It's really stormy here in Hawaii today. Like, they even had school off today. So if you see me just disappear, it's because I lost power. So we'll see how this goes.
And we got Carrie. What's going on, Carrie?
Oh, by me, I have also a little storm. No big deal. It's if I won't lose power from any storm though, so no big deal.
And Rudy, is it storming near you?
Yeah, and ironically, it kind of is.
Okay.
And I also just got fiber installed, so like the wire is actually above ground right now. They haven't dug it or anything like that. So yeah, if I disappear, that's that.
All right,
we're all just on the border right here. It might just be Bill on his own. Yeah.
No, because I was told by my son today, because I didn't look at the weather. He goes, "It was supposed to get bad," and I go, "It's chilly out, yeah, but it's not going to be bad." And he goes, "We're supposed to get 18 to 24 inches of snow tonight," and I was like, "No," because I thought I was done. I thought I was all done. I had already put my super duper winter coat away and said, if it snows again, I'm not cleaning it. I might have to, and I really, really don't want to. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about video games. We have a ton of stories to talk about. Last week, we talked to we're probably going to hear some stuff from GDC, and we absolutely did hear stuff from GDC. But we're going to start, and there's a lot of stuff from GDC, but we're going to start with Valve. Valve's slide deck from GDC was leaked, I guess. I don't know if it was really leaked, but that's what I heard. It was leaked, and in it, you're going to find a few interesting things that I thought that we would talk about. Valve gave devs some tips on how to make their games work best on Valve hardware. I think that stuff's interesting. They mentioned that they're working on anti-cheat, which was one of Valve's biggest hurdles, and they explained how their verified system is going to work on the new hardware as well. And what I think is the best part of it, Valve asked developers specifically to be sure to optimize their games for lower spec machines. So my question to you guys is, did you take a look at the things that we've seen from GDC from Valve, although we haven't seen the actual talk or anything? And what of those things that I just mentioned stands out to you? Carrie, what did you think?
So I did see a few things. There's a number of people showing off pictures of the Steam machine itself, marveling at how small it was. We got a little bit more information on Steam Frame itself. There is some interesting information from Steam Frame along with those same lines of what is going to be Steam Frame verified to run PC games on Steam Frame. So we have that as well. So all of them seem to be fine, because I think that what they were saying for is basically that they're targeting 1080p generally speaking. So even that 4K 30 has gotten pulled back a bit, it seems. So that was what I heard, and I think that is overall a more conservative thing that they should be saying overall based on what it is. And then the Steam Frame one, I think, is kind of a little bit more interesting, because the Steam Frame, they say to be Steam Frame verified to run games like the PC side of things, or even just whatever on the Steam Frame, if it's VR, is that it has to hit 90 hertz, meaning the game has to hit 90 FPS. So if you look at it through that angle, Quest 3 doesn't have this requirement. So even though their spec bump on the Steam Frame is a bit better than the Quest 3, there may be instances where the Quest 3 will look better because it can go at lower frame rate. So it's kind of a weird, I don't want to say weird, but I think their particular method of frame rate and everything else as a paramount is the correct choice, even if it does mean reduced visuals and other stuff. So there are some interesting stuff, but it there's a bunch of things, and I also read one thing was like, I don't know if it was said tongue in cheek or if they were saying it was like they're kind of like, hey, if you know anyone that has RAM for sale, let us know.
Right.
And that's like, oof. I hope that was just a joke.
I think it probably. I mean, no, I don't think anybody in their audience that was sitting there. They're a bunch of game developers. They weren't really asking those people. But even if it is a joke, there's a whole lot of truth to it. Like they definitely are looking for RAM.
Like Rodney Dangerfield up there. If you know anyone with some RAM, let us know. He's just sweating.
That's right. Or what's the meme with oh my God, what's his name?
The
comedian.
Resident Evil 4? Oh no, I was thinking about something else. Run into a guy that's like, what you buying?
Y'all got any more of that? And then that's whatever.
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, thank you.
Yeah.
Y'all got any more of that good stuff?
Yes, great.
Yeah. So I mean, I think 90 hertz is probably the best thing because that is going to cut down on people having motion sickness. I think the higher the frame rate. What'd you say, Carrie?
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's the fidelity of it for optics-wise, where people are looking at it, it's going to minimize as much motion sickness as possible, and that is paramount for anything else, regardless of visuals. So I think the choice that they're making, especially for it to be a verified game for a VR game, is the correct choice, even though some people may have some misgivings about it.
So that 90 hertz thing, I didn't see that in the slide deck. Where did you get that number?
That was from a side topic that happened because I was following a bunch of different news, and it was like a bunch of disjointed stuff from people. Most of the people that I saw were just talking about the 1080p 60 type of stuff, 1080p 30 type of stuff from the Steam machine, talking about how small it was. Some people are like, hey, it's kind of cute that Valve put a PC inside of a power supply because, it's basically a power supply dimensions. So it's like stuff like that. And yeah, so I was just like a bunch of different stuff coming into my feed that I was just picking up. I don't remember which one it was, but I do remember someone explicitly talking about that particular issue.
It's on, I can't see what page I'm on. It's on page 28 of their slides. I must have scrolled past it. You're right. It says standalone VR titles. So that means if you're playing on the device itself, 90 frames per second.
Correct.
And then standalone 2D titles, 30 frames per second at 1280 by 720p, which standalone 2D titles means you're playing a game on this, but you're not hooked up to anything, but it's not a VR game. It's just a regular ass, like what VR people call flat games.
Yeah, they call it, I think that's the whole frame business.
Right.
You watch it, you see it in a frame.
Yeah. So, Russ, what did you think about these slides? Did you have a chance to scroll through them? And if not, let me know, and I'll go ahead.
No, I did, and it's really just the kind of just going back and like validating some of the thoughts I've already had, and that like the Steam machine in particular, they're saying that for their verified program, 1080p, 30 frames per second, and it's not, they obviously were saying, oh, it's going to be able to do 4K 60 with, upscaling and whatnot as like the promotion part of it, but what they're saying is if it wants to be verified with the machine, that's the minimum standard, and I think that's fine. And I really like that a lot of this the slide deck is talking about, it's funny, I almost said Steam Deck instead of slide deck, but what I reading in this slide deck is like, yes, optimize for lower power stuff. You know what I mean? And it's gonna. And I think it's in the very last slide that they say. Let me pull it up. It says optimizing for lower spec machines expands your audience. I love that. Like it just, pushing towards affordability as opposed to just like latest and greatest is just a really kind of neat thing. This is probably the right forum for that too at GDC, it's game developers, and be like, hey, make sure you're not trying to push to the latest and greatest. And so I really appreciate that stuff. That's really my big takeaway is that it's like validation, like, yeah, like Valve and I are like in sync, in terms of just the thought process of who we should be targeting in terms of a main audience. So love it. That's really it.
Yeah. Rudy, anything to add to this?
I just want to give them my money. That's it. If I'm honest with you, like I want it. No, I was looking at the slides, and like I do agree with Russ. I think that one of the things that very very early on when they announced the specs and everything that people pointed out was like this is looking at the median, not the high end, but what most of the people are using in their active rigs right now with the Steam survey. So it would make sense that they would go for the widest audience possible in the PC space when it came to the specs and the capabilities of this device. I do like the fact that there's a little bit more, how can I say this? Detail in terms of the verification process. I do think that the verification process on for the Steam Deck itself, there have been some instances where a game will say, we're Steam verified, and then you play it and it's just like, whoa, this is not as smooth as I would expect for something like this. So with 1080, 30 being the bare minimum in terms of performance, that does allow for expansion. Also, we got to remember, this is, what was it? 8 times more powerful, if I remember correctly, or is it 9 times more powerful? 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. So the sky's the limit. I feel like it's going to be the question that remains is still price, but I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah. A second ago, I forgot what point I was going to make. You mentioned something, and I was going to say something, but now I've forgotten it. But that's okay.
Okay.
I think that I love that they are saying, don't, optimize for low spec hardware. Not everybody's going to be able to upgrade. We've talked about this in the past, how developers are already, even without Valve saying something, starting to say, well, I don't know, when we ship our game in 2 years, originally we thought people would have hardware that could do this. Well, now I think maybe people are going to have hardware that can do this instead. And so we're going to have to scale back what we want our hardware to do. And I think it's good that they're doing that. And if more developers do that, everybody, whether you have good hardware or whether you have old hardware, everybody's going to get the payoff from that. And that's exactly what Valve said. They said, what's the words that you used, Russ? I'm trying to find it. Expand your audience.
Right.
Optimizing for lower spec machines expands your audience. I think that's a good idea. Now, there's going to be people. Oh, this is my question. When you look at this, they specifically said 30 frames per second. They specifically said 90 frames per second. Up until in the customer facing information, they never say that stuff. And if you look at the customer facing information for the Steam Deck, they just say playable frame rate. But then if you go into, what's it called, Steamworks or whatever, that the developers look at, like the recommendations from Valve, they do say a frame rate, but they never tell the customers that. Why do you guys think that is, Russ?
I think it's this is probably pushing towards like setting a standard for the developers, but for a user, yeah, I don't. Because the problem is that if a user gets a game and it goes below that, even for a second, they're gonna be like, "I want my money back. This is a lie," or whatever. Like there's all of that investment part of it. I'm not saying they're wrong. Like it's okay to expect a certain level of performance, but that investment into it, it's very hard to make a guarantee at that point. Like, hey, the developer and us, like we all came together, kumbaya, and we decided this thing is going to play at 30 frames per second, and then it runs at 29, and then everyone loses their stuff. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of just why it's not customer facing. It's just because of the investment that a customer has versus telling a developer, you need to target this, you should be able to get this majority of the time, then we'll give you the standard. And I don't know, let the rest kind of suss itself out.
That makes sense. All right. Well, you know what? Let us know what you guys think of Valve's comments at GDC down below in the comments. And we're going to move on to our next topic. And that topic is a game. It's a game of true or false. The other day, let me just hit this on my YouTube channel. Which you can find over at NerdNest.tv. I posted a request for a true or false scenarios from all of you. Basically, you guys give us a scenario that, you're saying, could this happen? And we say if we think it's true or if we think it's false. And I picked a few of those out from the comments that you guys sent in. We're going to see what the panel thinks. If you guys go to the link that's in the show notes, you can find all of the other ones. And if you want to pick a different one, that's perfectly fine. In the past, what I've done is I've asked one and then we all kind of hit it. I'm just going to ask one and then point it at a person. But if you guys have something that you want to add on to that, absolutely jump into the conversation. So I'm going to start with Matt Without Fear, who I assume is a huge Daredevil fan because, and
Yeah, he's
I
got
think that's a Daredevil logo, but I was
that
just noticing that his name is Matt Without Fear. Anyway, they say, true or false, Microsoft will change Game Pass from day and date to a 1-year delay, similar to PlayStation Plus, so that they increase sales of Xbox games on their own platform. Carrie, I'm going to start this one with you. What do you think?
No, I think that's false. They already do that technically, and those are called PlayStation users. So they already sell to people that don't have Game Pass. I don't think that they're going to do it. That's not to say that it can't happen. I'm going to say false on the get-go. If it does happen, the only good news that I can get from that is that I don't care to be a Game Pass subscriber any longer, which would be great. It'd be freeing. It'd be like, okay, once this goes away, I don't need it anymore.
So I would add that, yeah, like it removes all the value of Game Pass, right? The value of Game Pass is like, I'm going to pay this fee so I don't have to buy a game, right? And I can try it out. And, that's like, if you have a 1-year delay on that, then I would think that the price of it has to drastically go down. You know what I mean? We're talking like a $10 tier or something at that point where you can play the back catalog of classics, something like that. But
the $10 tier also already does that. Like you
Right.
don't get day one games on $10 tier anymore, so it's already
Yeah.
it's already there.
yeah,
So-
it is kind of already there. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
I would
I
agree
think
that I think it's false.
I would also agree that it is false. But man, that they would completely and totally change their marketing as is. And I mean, we saw that they got rid of the whole "this is an Xbox" campaign.
Microsoft's
So,
never
like-
done that before.
Yeah.
Never
Like-
happens.
What?
Yeah, I would never, like, if you would like press me and be like, would this never happen? I would like, all right, 99% it's not going to happen, but I'll leave 1% chance for sure. It is a possibility.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yes, with Microsoft, yeah, it's that Vader comment, right? Like, pray I don't change this deal any further.
So, okay, let's move on to the next one. This one comes from Newham 3859. They said, true or false, Microsoft and Xbox will force Rockstar to release GTA 6 for PC earlier. I'm going to change what they said just a little bit because the word force, like Microsoft can't force GTA to do, or Rockstar to do jack shit, But here's what I'm going to say. Microsoft's system, being both a console and a PC, will incentivize Rockstar to release GTA 6 for PC earlier than they had already planned. Rudy, what do you think?
With the modification that you just put, I would
With
say
the
that is
modification.
that is a realistic thing. As far as like forcing, no. There's just that's not how it works. And Rockstar is such a huge player. They know that they're going to, I mean, there was rumors that they were like, oh, when GTA 6 finally comes out, it's going to be $100. Easy, because there's such a large base and there's so many people that want this. It broke records when the trailer came out. So yeah, I don't see that happening at this point. All the leverage is on Rockstar in this situation. Now, will that make it easier to bring it to PC? I would say yes, especially looking at Project Helix, which we'll talk about later on.
Yeah.
So walk me through this scenario. They're saying so GTA 6 is supposed to launch on Xbox Series, right? Like that's like that's the platform it's supposed to launch on. And we'll talk about this in a second, but if Helix is going to be running your Xbox Series games on PC, on this console PC, isn't that GTA 6 coming to PC already?
Let's come
I
to
don't
Helix.
I mean, okay, let's just say that it is.
It's a technicality.
Okay. Well, the test to verify what Russ is saying is, can you launch it on something that's not a Helix?
That's
So that we don't know that yet.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like in my head, I'm already buying Helix because it's a PC and because it's an Xbox. I already tweeted this out before any GDC came out. I was like, I'm going to buy GTA 6 on Xbox digitally because I know it's going to work on PC, aka
Makes sense.
Helix and all the other stuff. Why would I get it anywhere else? Because it already goes on the platform that plays on it, plays everything. So it's no longer in this weird caged position where I'm not buying on a closed platform. I'm buying on this weird semi-open platform. And that's why I tweeted that out. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's not going to be, and then like now it's like, ha ha ha, Xbox is just a PC. Like, all right, okay.
Well, but here's the question for you, Carrie. That version of GTA 6 that you're planning on buying, that Rockstar is making specifically to run on the series, the Xbox Series games. I mean, if they're not making a PC or if they're not releasing a PC version alongside it, then does Play Anywhere even come into it?
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be Play Anywhere. 100% I don't think it'll be Play Anywhere. I think it'll be the Xbox version that plays on the Xbox Helix, which might, like when we get in this conversation later, may eventually happen where Xbox Series, Xbox One, Xbox 360 games are playable on PC. But what that basically means is that Xbox version you have doesn't have any graphics settings. You can't change the graphics settings because they're tuned for the Xbox Series S and the Series X. And those are your options. You have Series X or Series S that you can play. And also, okay, like, all right, sure. I'll buy it once, I'll play it day one, and then I'll be able to play it on PC in perpetuity okay.
No,
What's
you're
the
not.
problem?
You're going to be playing the Xbox version that's exactly the same. And when you get more powerful hardware, it's going to be the Xbox version.
It's going to be on the Xbox version, but I'll be playing that Xbox version on PC. Like, if you play Legend of Zelda for the NES through an emulator, you're playing the Nintendo version on your PC. Do you care that it's, without mods, it's limited to what it is? No, I don't care. It's exactly how it was, so I'll play it like that. Would I like to get the PC version day one? I would love that, but I don't think, like, going back to this Force thing, that is 100% not going to happen. Because if you ever heard the stockholder meetings with, like, Take-Two, they just like, okay, this is all of our stuff. We're doing Take-Two. And now we're going to let Rockstar speak. And then Take-Two leaves. Like, that's
Right.
like, Take-Two owns Rockstar. And then they're just like, we won't speak for them. Because Rockstar is like, get out of the way. We're speaking now. And that's,
They're
there's
rock
no
stars.
force in. Yeah, they just. that
I
is
see what you
exactly
did
right.
there.
Yeah, so they're definitely not going to get forced. It through some weird wording, like a technicality, as Rudy put it, potentially. But yeah, that would be the Xbox version that I'm playing on PC in some future. But regardless of which way I look at it, their Xbox Helix is going to be in my living room. Will replace my current PC that I have now, and then I'll just have that to play PC games and Xbox games.
Okay. I want to make a bet.
Oh.
Now, this bet depends on something. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All
It
right.
depends on if GTA 6 is good. And what I mean by that is it depends on whether or not Carrie really likes GTA 6. All right.
Oh.
So let's say he really likes GTA 6. Let's just assume that he's going to. All right.
Okay.
So for this bet, he likes GTA 6. Here's the bet. I bet Carrie ends up buying 2 copies of that game. He buys the Xbox version and he buys the PC version.
I'm already going to say that this is a possibility because it's already happened for GTA 5.
Yeah.
It's happened
Yeah.
multiple times. It had with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's already happened. Like,
Yeah,
It's gonna
but that
happen.
kind of pokes all the holes in your theory.
Yeah, but he wants those Steam achievements, Like, he wants
Yeah.
to do all that.
like so here's the deal. Like,
add it to your 10,000 games, man. It's fine.
like when they start showing off, I will likely wait a while until it's whatever, like cost a bit less. I will do that for sure. I won't I will have nothing that really, like, unless there's like some amazing thing that the PC release has that like is like uber path tracing where it's like, oh my goodness, look how good this looks. Maybe then. But then again, like the Xbox Helix is already going to do some impressive path tracing. So, I mean,
Right, but you're going to be playing the Xbox Series version on there.
Here's
You
the
won't
deal.
have those things.
Here's the deal. We all know Rockstar's playbook. Rockstar's playbook is more sinister than Nintendo's playbook. Rockstar's playbook is they come out on the main platforms first, then they come out on PC, then they make the remastered version on the next gen consoles, then they sell it on Switch 2, then they sell the remastered one. They sell it 18 times. They keep on selling that thing. So I will likely not really even need to buy the PC version. I will just buy the Xbox Helix upgrade version and just
Okay.
upgrade the Xbox One. Is what I'll likely do because it'll be cheaper.
So
Or
let me
it won't. Maybe Rockstar will just be like, it's $100, pay. And I'm like, oh, all right, you got me. Oh,
Or
jeez.
200
So let me
for
just
you because
throw-
you're buying it twice.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw one. I'm gonna throw one wrench into this, and that is Carrie, as the YouTuber known as the Fox, is probably gonna buy it anyway because you're gonna need to benchmark that thing
Yeah.
because you're probably gonna get
that-
tired of benchmarking Cyberpunk at some point. So in
I know
Returnal,
where I know
so-
where Rockstar is physically. I think I'll just like walk over there and get thrown out. Get out. No, wait.
I would love for you to film that. Just you getting thrown out of Rockstar. Like walk in there and say, security guards, can you guys come over here? Can you just throw me out of here for a bit that I got to do? Like
Yeah,
that would be great.
They probably got his picture on a wall. They're like, this guy's figured out our playbook. You know what I mean? Persona non grata.
Yeah. Get him out of here.
Awesome. All right, next up we got one name from Buttery Cheeks. That's a fun name. True or false, Sony will do a third round of layoffs at Bungie before their next earnings call due to Marathon's performance. And I know that I went to Carrie already. Did I go to Russ or Rudy next? I don't know
Yeah,
whose
so
turn it is.
Russ
Forgot
is
Rich,
up
man.
Rich, nice.
Yeah, you can go to Rich or Russ for this one.
Rich or Russ.
So I will say that they're coming. There's got to be something coming to Bungie. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, right? Like I love every Bungie game. I'm not a huge fan of Marathon, but I want them to make more games. And just by looking at the tea leaves and everything they've already been doing to all the other studios, whether or not they're doing great work, I think something's coming to Bungie. I don't know if it's going to happen before or after the next earnings call, but yeah, the pessimist in me is like, yeah, they're gonna hurt Bungie for this, which is just unfortunate.
Rudy, have you played Marathon yet or no?
Negative. And it is simply because of the fact that I am not interested in those kinds of games. I haven't been interested in those games in a very long time. But I got to respect Bungie. I played Destiny 1, played Destiny 2. I never had an Xbox until the Xbox Series generation. And I remember my friend, he was like, dude, you got to try Halo. It's amazing. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever. Spend a weekend, played Halo 1 through 3. It was amazing. That cliffhanger after 2 was nuts. I'm so glad that I could play back to back. But dude,
Yeah,
you're
brutal.
laughing because
Yeah.
you know.
Sir, I'm gonna finish the fight. Credits roll. You're like, what? Huh? 4 years?
So
Spoilers.
Bad, so bad.
It's only
I
been
know,
what,
right?
20 years since that game came out? I can't believe you guys spoiled it.
Oh man, but yeah, it sucks, man, because I want them to be successful. They are a huge name in the space, but Carrie, I don't know if it was with you that I was talking about on Twitter that like they're a different Bungie. They're not
yes.
the same Bungie that was there back in the day.
Yeah.
And that kind of, I don't know, it kind of feels almost like BioWare in a sense. It's just completely different than what it used to be.
Like almost every like previous studio, like Blizzard, you can go through almost all of them, and they have been transformed inside out, and they just have the name and the pedigree of the name alone, no pedigree. So yeah, I'm of the the numbers really didn't make any sense, and they've already got. I didn't know that they already had 2 rounds of layoffs. I only thought they had 1 layoff. I know that they were like 1,200 large as a studio. No, they were 1,600 large, and then they got shaved down to 12. Oh, I guess there was a second because now there was reports that it was at 850. So they got like 400 shaved, another 400 shaved, and if this third, it's probably going to be like another 400 shaved off. And I don't see the numbers that they need there. Like if you just like look at how much it costs the studio, the one saving grace that they do have is the numbers that were reported was that Destiny 2 made like 1.5 billion or something from 2019 to 2024. So the burn rate against that money coming in is going to soften the blow. But at this point, when you look at all the numbers and how much spend is there, Sony has effectively made $0 from their Bungie acquisition. And
How much did they buy them for? Do you remember?
It's like 3.9 billion or something.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So they basically just made enough to make a little bit of money and pay for all of their staff, which is why they've been having their cuts. And then Marathon, even though, like, I can see it's a good game, I can see that I appreciate the game, because they're not holding your hand when you're playing, and you keep on hearing a lot of people like, oh man, I put 15 hours in and now I'm starting to understand it, and I'm like, okay, I appreciate that, but I don't think that's a winning formula for a gas type game. And then being paired up with people that might just be whatever, just like YOLOing it around, and then like the matchups that you can get insofar as like just randoms is, I don't think I don't know. So there's a lot there that I don't think works well with the gas. And like you look at Helldivers 2, why I got Helldivers 2 was all of the GIFs that were coming out that were just bonanza, right? Like super stuff. When I said this before, they really need like a razzle dazzle reel to show off like, oh, this is what Marathon is about. They almost need like these streamers who've been playing for a while to make like a clip set where they can just like bombard all social media with like cool stuff going on, bombastic stuff. Unfortunately, I think the thing is true, whether it's the before their earnings or not. Before their earnings probably makes more sense, but yeah, there's another rounds of layoffs for Bungie coming.
So I just want to talk. I don't know that I have really an opinion on whether or not there's going to be layoffs. I think the way that I look at it is there's always going to be freaking layoffs because the suits are making the decisions. And, I think that this is definitely a product of companies just over hiring during the pandemic. And now we're starting to see the results of its bad management. Bad management has happened. And now the people, not the managers, are paying the price. But I want to talk just a little bit about like those sizzle reels that you're talking about, Carrie. I have been playing a ton of Marathon, and I've been having so much fun with it. It is really, really good. And I'm really starting to understand how the game works. And you're right, it does take time. There's one thing about the game that has completely changed from Arc Raiders for me. In Arc Raiders, you have this gear fear where you're like, okay, I got this cool shit. I'm going to put it all on. I'm probably going to lose it. So I'm going to go into this next round using crappier stuff. And then when I play Marathon, like my vault, where you store your gear between runs or whatever, is so like small, and I just don't have room for stuff, then I'm like, okay, I got to bring stuff in. So I go in, and if I lose it, no big deal. The next run, I just do a free kit. So basically you have the option to do like, they're called sponsored kits. And it's just like you put this thing in your inventory and it says, here's the random gun that you're going to use. Here's your consumables that you're going to use. Here's the ammo that you have. Go in there. Doesn't cost you anything. You do your run. And what I've been doing is I'll do a free run and I'll sneak around. And in Arc Raiders, I was Mr. Friendly. I was running around using the little ping wheel saying, hey, everybody, I'm friendly. I'm friendly. Don't shoot at me. Let's be buds. In Marathon, I'm being sneaky and sneaking up on dudes and taking them out and then taking all their stuff. And then I use that stuff until I get killed and I lose it. And it doesn't matter because I had fun doing it.
Do you whisper in their ear when you gank them? Like,
what's that?
Do you whisper in their ear? You're like, this is nothing personal.
It's just business.
When you kill somebody, you do jump on them and like you see their face, like the person who's killing you has their face like right over yours and a knife, and they're like that. Like, it's not like gory or anything.
Thanks for the candy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try and come up with interesting things. Although I don't have just to broadcast to talk. I only talk to my teammates. I don't have that on.
Wait, hold on. Can you clarify real quick? Are you doing this to your teammates, or these are just other humans? How much of a jerk are you being? Okay,
there's no friendly fire.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell, dude?
No, there's no friendly fire. But the team is really, really good.
Thanks for the candy.
Thanks for the candy. That's what I'm going to say next time. I'll say, grab a snack and drink. That's what I'm going to say. But I'm having so much fun with it, and like I'm looking at the Steam DB charts. It's not good. It's going down and down and down. It's like, am I the only one having fun with it? Like right now, there's 50,000 players playing, which is down from 88,000 8 days ago. That's a big drop.
I think the one thing that for me for the CCU count is that it's already been shown, well, already been said out loud that Steam has the most sales for Marathon, and this is not looking promising in any way. But you can, like, just eyeballing it, you can see the downward trend, and there is no uptick. So there's like, you don't know where the bottom for this thing is yet, and it's like this is almost a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. And then if there are layoffs, it's like all this, I don't know, there's a lot of negativity. Maybe Bill, you should definitely make just like a sweet sizzle reel yourself, and just doing that like really creepy stuff, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be awesome. Just like shh, 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 shh. Like, just whisper, it'll make things so much funnier.
So I will say, part of me thinks that that Sony, in acquiring Bungie, was thinking about Bungie levels of money and levels of revenue and sales. And as you guys are talking about it, and you said the Steam numbers, I'm like, hold on, let me get a grasp of what's going on here. So I just looked up Halo 3, right? First week of sales. So I was like, what was it? I remember it was a lot, right? $300 million worldwide sales in the first week. And they are estimating roughly 3.3 million units sold and then 1.7 million pre-ordered. That's the numbers that we're looking at for Halo 3 compared to 50,000 concurrent players for Marathon, which just came out a week and a half ago, which is just kind of crazy to me. And yeah, I don't know. In terms of sizzle reels too, I don't know if you guys have watched the trailer on Steam for this game, like the most recent one, like the leftmost one on the store. It's actually really exciting looking. I'm like, I want to play that game, right? But my own experience was not like that. It was a much slower game. So there is some fun stuff that they're promoting about it, but I don't think the reputation is getting there, unfortunately.
I will say it is a slow game. And I actually like Arc Raiders is much faster. I spent a lot more time walking instead of sprinting, because if you sprint too much, you end up building up heat. If you build up too much heat, then you are locked out of sprinting for a very long time. So it's much better to... And everybody's listening to everything, so you want to make sure that you're making as little noise as possible. So a lot of times I'm crouched and walking if I'm anywhere near a building, because I want to be able to sneak up on somebody so I can whisper sweet nothings into their ear, as Carrie says.
Like, so,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, like, Arc Raiders. Even I have seen like clips of that where they've just been funny moments of people like incapacitating other raiders and like trying to suss out like what's going on. Like, no, you were gonna come here and gank me, and he's like, no, I promise I wasn't gonna do that. And he's like looking at him, he's like, you were gonna do that. And then all of a sudden you see his like another buddy is like, and he's like I knew it. But you have those interactions with the proximity chat going on that just make these, it's terribly slow, because they're literally there's a guy that's like can't do anything, and he's just pointing down at him, being threatening. He's like, you were gonna get me, and that's why I have to get you. And it's this interesting dynamic that happens where it's just makes it like I would like to be playing that. I'm like, oh, I could see that. I have not seen that in Marathon anywhere. I haven't seen any real clips. The only thing that I saw is people, like clips of people that are saying Marathon is bad, and then making fun of those people because they're like, like, oh, they're using an SMG as a sniper rifle. Of course you think it's bad. And I'm like, all right, okay. But that's what I saw. This is the media that I see stuff coming in. So they got to try to figure that part out, but who knows?
I also will say that when you play Arc Raiders, you get some bananas moments where you're fighting not just other players, where you're fighting the NPC robots, and like there's like I had crazy moments where I'm like running around on top of the building, taking pot shots at a building sized robot that's crawling across the landscape, and then it turns and shoots out a little drone that pops out this rocketeer, which then is chasing me down. And as I'm running, I can literally see rockets flying by my character as I'm trying to dodge and weave out of there. Those kind of moments, those are very clippable moments that would look really cool on social media, that kind of thing. When I'm fighting in Marathon against the NPCs, they just look like bipedal robots. And that is a little boring, but I'm also still having fun at the same. Like, it looks boring, but it's still fun.
I think that's another like a side thing that I subconsciously don't care about it is that the main character that you play as, I forget which class it is because I never did the assassin class yet, but like the main class that you can pick that they give you automatically, it just looks like a, like, I don't know, like a Mega Bloks type of character. Like it's just it that has no personality. I don't care about what I got or what I have. I don't care if I get anything cool because I don't care about this character. Like I don't care about anything on there. And the coolest person I saw was the assassin looking people, but even then I don't really care about them. There's nothing that, like, I almost feel like I wish that there would be a character creator thing where you can like make yourself and have some type of, I don't know, stakes in the game, because what they're giving is like, I don't know, but that's just a subconscious thing that I wanted to just say out loud.
So one
Sounds
other
like
thing. Go ahead, Rudy.
No, I was just gonna say it sounds like fun.
Oh, okay. One other thing before we move on. Russ said, he thought that they bought Bungie because of Bungie money. I don't think that's the reason. I think they bought Bungie so that they could have Bungie teach them how to make all of the other studios that they owned how to make gas games. And then suddenly, turns out gas games weren't working too well for Sony.
I know exactly what happened.
Please,
let's hear it.
It was about 2007. Halo 3 just came out. PS3 was having a bad time, and some PlayStation user picked up a monkey paw and said, "I wish Sony would kill Bungie." It was like and sure enough, one day Sony will close down Bungie, and that wish will come true.
That hurts, man. Not gonna lie.
It's painful.
That hurts.
Yeah, I was looking more
rings merit.
about. I was looking more about Halo 3. It was not only the largest video game launch of all time, it was the largest media launch of all time. It beat out any movie or anything else at the time when it came out in terms of the first week of sales.
Have you guys seen, there's a video, one of the best, like it is...
Crobat?
No, it's not Crobat. This is someone recorded day one Halo 3, like going to a midnight launch, playing with his buddies. It's like a 20-minute thing. He recorded it in 2007, uploaded it in 2007, so it's been up for like, I don't know, 20 years almost. And it is one of the best, like, you watch that whole thing and you get the sense of everything. Like, I don't know where he lives, but it was a dope place because he literally goes to like a GameStop and there's a dude with an acoustic guitar playing the Halo main theme, like, dung, 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 dung. And I'm like, what the... I don't have any, like, where are you? Like, where is this? This almost seems fake. I don't believe this thing, but it's like recorded on a period correct, like, digital camera. You have to see it. It's such a good YouTube video.
Send it to our Discord and I'll try and throw it in the show notes for people. All right. Rhodes War sent this in. They said, true or false, Father Bad News Bill's beloved Steam controller will not release until the Steam machine releases, which will be Q4 this year. So, again, I'm going to edit this one a little bit. And the reason why I'm editing this one is because I think that there's, even though I just put out a video saying, Valve, please ship the controller first, ain't no way that's happening. They're not going to. I think they should, but they won't. So it's going to ship with the Steam machine. So here's the part that I'm wondering is true or false. Will it be Q4 before we see it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Carrie?
False. We'll see it. We're going to see it as second half of this year, I think. So I'm going to say late May, June. That's when I have to go to London for work. So I'm thinking that's like exactly when it's going to happen.
The most inconvenient time for you?
The most inconvenient time for me is exactly when it's going to happen. So I'm going to say false. It won't be Q4. All right. It's coming out, late Q2.
All right. Hey, Valve, I'm going out of town next week. Make something happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bad News Bill. How about some bad news? Father Bad News Bill. I love how we're just going to keep on tacking more things on there.
I know. I have no idea. Okay, Russ. Q3, Q4, first half?
Q4. I think it's Q4, just to be safe. But... I think they will put out the Steam controller first.
Ooh.
They'd be like, hey, really? Q4, sorry about that, but here's the controller now because we love you guys so much. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would like to see, because I get it. They want to bundle it with the Steam Machine, but they are obviously having to adapt to today's circumstances. They can adapt to this too. And the controller, I'm assuming, doesn't have RAM or storage on it. And so this potentially is something that they could launch now.
Yeah.
All right. Rudy, it's up to you.
I don't know, man. I was thinking late Q3, early Q4. And the reason being is people typically spend money around that time, big time. And it just makes sense for people to be like, well, I was planning on spending my money anyways. Why not? Carrie, you don't have any trips around that time, do you?
Not at the moment.
Shit, man. Never mind. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
All right. I'm going to say first half of the year. I'm going to say it's in Q2, right at the very end of Q2. Like right before it ticks over to the second half of the year, they're going to get just under the wire. And I'm saying that not because I have any knowledge, just because I want it to happen. I'm like,
they needed to happen.
I'm like Riggs in Lethal Weapon 3. I'm willing it to happen. Will it with me, Raj? Will it?
I mean, we tried to will it to happen for, what was it we were saying, Memorial Day weekend? I mean, that was like our optimistic, but I just, every day I'm just like, just wait, it's fine. Like, it's just getting worse, you know? I'm thinking like October time frame. So.
That's the worst, man. That'll be terrible if they do October.
Yeah.
That'll be the worst. And I don't mean that like I want that now. I mean like
no. Like why would it be the worst though? I'm curious.
Because I will be teaching and I won't be on summer vacation where I can make lots of content.
If they do October, you're in that time frame where I don't know if like the Game Awards, Xbox will like talk about Xbox Helix, but you're gonna have all guns blazing from Xbox about the next Xbox. Like they had done with the Xbox Series X, and that's going to be an even bigger point to people to have. And then there is a reality, like quite literally a reality where, because like there's like some early bill of materials for Xbox Helix, and it's looking like there's some people saying it's, even with RAM, it's gonna be like $950. So if Microsoft sells at cost or around there, because the Xbox Series X when that came out was around $500 and they sold it for $500. There's a reality where the Xbox Helix could be $1,000.
Yeah, 100%.
And if Steam Machine is 800 or 700 because of RAM, and then you have something that's a year away that's going to quite literally destroy it and also play PC games, and it's within that price bracket, that's like the PlayStation 2 type of like killing Dreamcast type of territory. Like, just wait for something better, and people are like, you got it. There's going to be definitely people that buy Steam machines because they're going to be like, I can't put SteamOS on Xbox Helix. Fair.
Somebody put it on the PlayStation 5 Pro, so it's going to somebody's going to figure it out.
Someone will figure it out.
We need someone to basically hack it to pieces and then open it up, which might happen. Very well might happen, but not initially. I mean, we're like 6 years after the PS5, and that you need a specific firmware for that for that to happen. So maybe, but like that's where things sit. So yeah, I could see that, but I don't buy it. Like, Steam Machine is only going to be sold by Valve, and they're not going to have it in stores. Xbox Helix will. I also think PS6 is going to launch in 2027, along with the PS6 handheld. I don't think Sony's going to allow Microsoft to just be there by themselves with something like that.
Well, we've got more on that later on in the episode, so pay attention. Everybody.
Anyway, that's where things are.
That makes sense.
They have to launch as soon as possible, and the longer they wait, the worse it is.
I agree with that.
That 100% makes sense. The way that you presented it, like, yes, because in order to not compete directly with Xbox, it would make sense for them to launch earlier. And if they were going to launch in Q1 of this year, you know what? Maybe Bill will get his Steam Machine.
Yes, and Steam controller. Yes, see,
and the Steam controller.
The Steam controller is really what I care about. The Steam Machine, I'm much less interested in. I want it all.
Same for me.
I want it now. I want it now. All right. Let's move on to our final topic for True or False, and this one comes in to us from Revolution X70. Remember Revolution X, the Aerosmith game?
Mm-hmm. It was also the Wii codename, right? Revolution X?
I think it was just codename Revolution. But
codename Revolution,
Revolution X was the Aerosmith game, for crying out loud. Love that kind of thing actually happened. Anyway, that's not what this is about. They said, true or false, NVIDIA will exit the consumer GPU market by 2030. I think what they're thinking is they're just going to say, screw the consumers. We could just sell straight to the data centers and we don't have to bother with anything. And then anything that's left over, we'll throw in our own data centers so that people can subscribe to us for GeForce Now. Russ?
They have, I mean, I don't know what the numbers are now, but I keep hearing, from people in the PC industry that they have like a 90% market share in GPUs, right? And they are not going to exit. They're just not going to exit. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. They obviously are not prioritizing it. We're probably going to see a slowdown, but they are just dominating, and it's just printing money at this point. So I don't see that exiting, but I definitely see a slowdown of innovation and all those other kind of things that we would depend on. And I'm going to see, I'm expecting to see AMD and Intel really start to take up that slack. And so that's what I'm going to see, is that lower market share, but not exiting the industry.
Either of you guys want to disagree with Russ? I try not to disagree with him when he's right.
That was perfect. No notes.
All right.
Russ, you're wrong. You're
Thank you.
wrong.
Thank you.
So wrong.
Get him.
No, he's right. He is so right. That's when I read that, I was like, yep, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for sending in your true or false ideas. It led to a lot of great discussions. If you were like, hey, I didn't get to see this post, I haven't gotten to leave something, make sure that you subscribe and to set your notifications to all so that you see all of that stuff next time that we do it. But we're going to move on to our next topic. And our next topic, last week, we predicted that we would have some big news coming from GDC, and boy, were we right. Microsoft announced, in addition to Valve, Microsoft announced their new console, sort of, at GDC, and it's really powerful using FSR Next. Microsoft says it delivers an order of magnitude leap in ray tracing performance and capability. They plan on shipping alpha versions to devs in the beginning of 2027. They also announced an Xbox mode that's coming to Windows in April, which is not very far away, and new ways to play some of Microsoft's back catalog. So my question to you guys I have 3 questions, and we're going to take them one at a time. Question number 1, thoughts on Xbox mode. So we're just stick with that for now. Baldy Rudy, what do you think, man?
Dude, it makes sense. I'm glad that it's now called the Xbox mode instead of the Xbox full screen experience. Let me just get that out of the way. That seems much easier to talk to people about. And it just continues the trend of the unification of PC and Xbox. If they continue to push it forward and it sells and makes sense, like there are people in our audience, in our shared audiences, that literally just have a desktop to only play video games. Mm-hmm. That is it. And if you can have a unified, seamless, very easy process to just jump in and play the games that you want without, having resources dedicated to things that don't matter, why not? That's a win.
Do you think that the Xbox mode will also allow you to play? I know that they'll say you can play games from other stores on our system, but will those things be promoted into Xbox mode, or do you think that those will be, if you want to run Steam games, you can, but you got to boot into desktop mode for that, and then launch Steam, and then launch big picture mode, and then you're doing what you're doing? What do you think, Rudy?
I don't think so, man. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I think it's going to be the same exact way that it is with Xbox full screen experience now on PC handhelds as is. It's going to be an application that's there. You can access it through the Xbox app, and boom, you're able to go ahead and play the games. Now, the interesting thing, now, this is something that I don't think anybody has said, but when you go into like Xbox mode, in settings, and you can see the drop down of the app that you want to boot up in full screen. You see that there's a drop down. So that to me seems like there's going to be some sort of API to have other applications that could boot up. So like, why wouldn't Valve be like, you know what? I want to use that API. I want to go ahead, assuming that, Microsoft is kind. And they say, we want Steam Big Picture Mode to be the first thing to boot up. And that's going to be the primary way of playing the games that you want to play. That's a possibility as well, But yeah, I think that they're going to play nice. It doesn't make sense. Microsoft has always been a software. I want to get my software everywhere sort of like scenario. It is a tricky thing because the whole this is an Xbox campaign has kind of screwed them over in terms of, everything. And obviously there has been a shift in leadership. But yeah, I think they're going to play nice.
All right. Russ?
Yeah, for the Xbox mode in particular, I am hoping that it is just a leap in quality. Like, you guys remember the old Steam Big Picture mode before they went like the
Yeah.
Steam OS look?
Oh, yeah, it was crappy.
I hated that. It was so easy to break it, and that's the same thing with full screen experience right now. I can break that so easy. Just move the cursor around enough, and then I don't know where I am, and like everything just gets messed up, right? So I'm hoping it's that kind of leap where Xbox mode is that feeling where it gets into that kind of Steam OS sort of feeling of big picture mode. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. I got a lot of thoughts about the whole Helix thing and like the this is an Xbox campaign going away and stuff. Well, I'll leave that for the next question. But yeah, that's my first thought is that, yeah, cool that they're working on this. I do think it is going to allow you still to use Steam Store and stuff. They'll probably use like a widget-based system, kind of like how they have it on the Xbox. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Right, because on the Xbox Ally X, right now they have like a widget. I'm going to use quotes store. It's not really a store because you're not paying money for anything, but you have a set of widgets that you can add to the Xbox full screen experience. You can like put Spotify on there. By the way, this podcast is also on Spotify, so make sure you check it out. But you can put a bunch of stuff on there so you can access it easily with the controller. And that's something I kind of forgot about until like just this moment, because is really as good as the hardware is for the Xbox Ally X. I forgot the name of it for a second. I haven't used it in forever. So, but Carrie, Xbox mode, are you hyped for it?
Initially, no, because I'm in agreement with everyone else that Xbox mode will initially be it'll feel like a different Xbox full screen experience, but then have all of the same lackluster stuff going on where you're kind of getting shuffled around. What I believe Xbox mode launching in April actually is for is to have Epic, GOG, Valve start implementing their store and hooks so that Xbox Helix and PC in Xbox mode could directly interface with those stores, and you're no longer jumping out of them. So there is this eventuality where it's like, okay, here is the base, here's all your hooks, start hooking into it so that this is a much more pleasant experience. And also, this will also carry forward with Xbox Helix so that when people are playing on the new Xbox Helix console, they can buy and run games from your store on the Xbox Helix.
Did it surprise any of you guys that it's April?
No.
Really? I was shocked. I couldn't believe that they were doing it in April.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things so even Auto SR is in April with the Xbox mode as well. So there's a bunch of things. There's it's basically this new foundation for the Xbox mode for PC, and there's a bunch of stuff that you can see if you kind of look at everything, how it's all combining. And then you just think about not only other stores integrating into it, but Microsoft themselves need a platform on how to launch Xbox One, Xbox Series, Xbox 360, original Xbox games on a PC via the Xbox
We'll
mode.
talk about that later in the show.
Yeah, so basically Xbox mode to me is they have to get it out very soon. They have this stuff that they've been working on. I believe Auto SR has been built for a while now, and they wanted to actually launch all together in one unified front. So it's like, oh, look at all these features that are in Xbox mode, because they're not going to have anything super spicy. But Auto SR at least will be like, hey, that's kind of cool.
Rudy, you were going to jump in. You change your mind, or did he start to say what you were going to say?
Because it's more of the business side of things, because of the traditional console model of saying, hey, you buy a console, we'll sell it to you at cost, which is something that we talked about earlier, and we're going to make money through software sales. That's the traditional way of looking at it. Now, from a PC standpoint, you buy it, and then from there you can go ahead and go onto any storefront.
Yeah.
If Project Helix is a PC as well, and you can have other storefronts, wouldn't that cut into
Yes.
the revenue?
This is why a lot of people are saying that the Xbox Helix is going to be $1,500 instead of $1,000, because Microsoft has to go into it through the knowledge that they are going to be removing themselves from some portion of this, of not being able to extract that 30% or whatever it is, because these other integrations are going to actually be where the sale is happening. And maybe they make some deal with the other one and they're making fractions of a percent through these other stores, but then they are then, like, you buy, let's say through the Epic Game Store, you've been downloading all those free games, now it's integrated in Xbox Helix and you have all those free games on there. Epic is the one that is responsible for doing it. Any support that needs for that game has to go to Epic. It's not for Microsoft. So there's like, they don't deal with the support side of that because that's on them. So there's like lots of ways that they do it. But yeah, it could be that Xbox Helix is going to have an inflated price and it won't be $1,000, even though bill of materials suggests that it could if Microsoft continues what they've historically done.
I wonder if maybe they're like, okay, we're not making money through selling our games because people are going to buy it and then just run Steam. But I wonder if they're going to make their goal is to make money through telemetry. And then if you're in the Xbox mode, advertising, here's Game Pass, here's Game Pass, here's Game Pass, here's Game Pass. Like, maybe they'll think that people will get hooked into Game Pass because of that, because they're on this hardware and it's constantly telling you, hey, you want to play this game without buying it? You could just subscribe to Game Pass. Very
quickly, I'm gonna let you go, Russ. I just wanted to, like, this is a thing that whenever this has come up before, because the rumors of like Xbox is no longer gonna make a console, I have consistently brought up, how is Microsoft going to continue selling Game Pass? You can't, this Game Pass is a vehicle and they need something to do it. If they just move to like just anyone's PC is now an Xbox, that doesn't become a way to sell it. So they do need to have this very attractive box to sell to be able to, once people have it, they're like, well, now that I have this and it has day one games, and then also I can play Fortnite this, and I have the Epic Game Store, but if I pay $30, I get Fortnite for free and all this other nonsense that they can do, especially if they're advertising for it. They're just looking to make this subscription number go up. So this is their vehicle for that. So yes, I do. That's mostly what I think. And I think that's why it goes back the other way of, actually, no, they are going to sell this at $1,000. But that's what I want to say.
So I got a lot of confusion about this whole Xbox thing. Like, I've just been thinking about it a lot. I was just on the Expedition Handheld podcast we recorded yesterday, and I was all confused in that one too.
Hold on, where can people find that podcast?
It's on the Full Nerd Network. So that's the PC World's like podcasting network or whatever. I also it's on a collaboration with me too. Like, I do the collaboration thing. So if you go to my channel front page, there's like a collaborations tab. You'll see anything that I'm in.
Link in the show notes.
Anyway,
I'll put a link in the show notes. Go ahead.
Thank you. So here's my confusion. Let's assume they're going to sell it at cost, right? And like they have traditionally done. And if they're going to sell it at cost, then you're going to think, okay, they need to sell software. If they're going to open up the software to all these different storefronts, you can play your Steam games, your Epic games and stuff like that. Who is going to buy an Xbox game at that point if they can just buy it somewhere else? Okay, then the Game Pass, I get that. Valid. I think it's all right? Like, they're trying to push towards Game Pass. But then their priority becomes hardware sales, that they actually have to get you to buy the hardware so that they can get you the software. And to me, I think that makes sense in Carrie's mind, who has this big brain, but I don't know if the executives are playing 3D chess like that. Like, they're thinking to themselves, all right, let's sell this hardware, which will get them on Game Pass, and then profit. Like, I think it's too many steps there, that they want something very basic and tangible to say, hey, this is going to be the solution going forward. And it's got to be software, it's got to be hardware, one of those, or a service. And I just don't see any of them coming together in a way that makes sense to me anymore. They've watered down this idea. Like, at first, when I heard Asha Sharma saying, okay, console first, we're going to do this console thing. And then they took away all of these, this is Xbox stuff, right? They took it all down. Like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. But nothing has actually changed. I don't think anything has changed from their approach in any way. It just seems to be the same thing, where it's just like, hey, play anywhere. Do whatever you want. Don't say these words, but yes, this is an Xbox. You know what I mean? Like, that's they're taking away the campaign and then also just doing the same campaign. And so I'm just confused now. As an Xbox lover, as an Xbox user, where are they going to make their money? And like, how is this all going to come together? I just don't get it. It's so convoluted right now.
You took
That's
the
it.
words
That's my
right
rant.
out of my mouth. No, you took the words right out of my mouth because I'm just like, how are they going to make money? That's all the execs care about. They care about profit, and they're not in it for the art. They're not in it for the love of the game. They're in it for profit. So at the end of the day, Carrie, I mean, you said it could be either a $1,500 device, or it could be
Right.
something that's $999.
Right, yeah.
But why buy my games on Xbox if I have this huge Steam library and I could just install Steam on my Project Helix box?
A more important question is, do you need Game Pass to play online for a Steam game?
I'm
When
going
you
to say
don't need
no
it. Right.
because it's a
Yeah,
PC.
I'm gonna say
I would
no
say no
as
as
well.
well.
So what happens to that whole
But
part?
I'm
where-
going to tell you right now, if you do
Right.
have to, holy shit, people will
Right.
burn things down.
Well,
Yeah,
there
they
goes the
can't-
PC side of things.
Right, yeah. So they can't, obviously they can't do that. They need to continue with if you play on the Xbox side, it's the Xbox rules. And if you play on the PC side, you play by the rules of whatever platform that you bought and played on. And also the support comes from there. So like, it's like all of that has to do, but that is confusing. Like what, to Russ's point, like, where do you go? And like, there's going to be people that buy on Steam because like, oh, my friend plays on Steam, and like I have a problem with it. I'm going to call Microsoft, and Microsoft's like, where'd you buy it from? And then they're like, I bought it from Steam. They're like, so why are you calling us? And they're like, yeah, but I'm doing this on my Xbox Helix. And they're like, and where'd you get the game? From Steam. Okay, so why are you talking to us? And this is like, who's on first type of thing. And it's just like, what are you asking me for? And it's just like,
I have it's like I have an MSI GPU, but it's an Asus motherboard. Let me call Asus and see if they can fix my GPU problem. Like it's
Right.
it's insane. Like why would
Right,
you even
but-
do that? So, dude, think of it from like a casual's perspective. They're gonna go to Target or Best Buy and they're gonna buy this. They're going to look at it and be like, this is the next Xbox. I'm going to go ahead and take it. We saw this with the Xbox Ally X launch and the Xbox Ally. You have a bunch
Right.
of people from the Xbox space that got this and are like, why do I have to install 2 hours worth of driver updates?
right.
This doesn't make sense.
Right.
Russ,
Like the
use
way
your
that
title.
they execute this is going to be weird. I don't know.
Russ, use your title. What was the title of your Xbox Ally X video?
Oh, awesome handheld PC, but lousy Xbox. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing for me, is that it's so getting so confused, and I'm not staying up late at night thinking about how is Microsoft going to make money. That's not something I'm worried about, right? As a person,
not
like
your
I don't
job.
give a crap, right? But I do want to have their next console, and I want it to make sense, and I just want a box that plays Xbox games, console games, right? We've already talked about the USB drive. Like I want to have something like that to play on my old stuff, or even access my digital library. That's what I want. If it can also play my PC games, that is also very cool. Like it's a kind of all-in-one. But if they also are going to allow our PCs to do the same thing through Xbox mode and the backwards compatibility stuff that we're going to talk about later, then why do I need that box? Unless it's a really good value. That's the only thing I can think of. At this point, it's just a Steam machine at that point. You know what I mean? It's just a direct competition with a Steam machine because it's a PC that you can play in a living room.
You know what I love about Xbox Helix the most is that it's no longer tied to a specific thing that is you can only play the things that are in that closed ecosystem, which I have long since I moved away since in 2010. 2010 is when I was like, I'm PC only at this point. And I got all the other stuff for like, I'll play those and then just go back to being PC. Like multi-platform is where I play PC. And I go back to like, even going back to like the ending thing of like the Steam, the Valve guidebook, right? That was there.
Right.
And it's like, design a game for what people have, and the Xbox Helix at $9.99 is going to take. Remember, Valve said most everyone has a 3060. That's the GPU that they have, and now if they buy $1,000 thing, which buying a PC that has an NVIDIA 5080 in it is $2,500, and they're not buying that, but they can afford $1,000, and now all of a sudden everyone has been ushered in to this. I have a 5080. And that is super exciting to me because now you have this much better base of what you can play. That value proposition is insane to me, which is why I find it like so incredulous. That not only do you have it, it's like, okay, the Xbox Series X and even the PS5, when those launched in 2020, it's like, man, those specs are great, but you can only play on those platforms. Now, if Xbox Series X launched in 2020 and it was like, oh, it can also play PC games, people are like, oh, crap, like, this is cheaper than the PC that I can get with that same spec. So like that would have like flew off the shelves. And that's exactly how I feel right now. Is like once people make that connection and you see streamers and everything, and I look at my kids and I look at my nephews and I see all their friends, they play on PC and they play on iPads. That's where they play. They don't play on console. They have no real care for a console at all. But that's just me, and that's anecdotal. But I see it, and I think Microsoft has saw it, which is why they went this way. And yeah, so that for me is like the most exciting thing. It really just comes down to price and like other open questions that we've already talked about.
Yeah, I think at that point, and I agree with you, I think that that is kind of the ideal, right? That this is a PC, and then the whole playing Xbox games seems to be coming everywhere.
Right.
But it's going to be a really high value PC for the price. At that point, I'm not sure it needs the name Xbox on it. At that point, Xbox as a name is just marketing. At that point, it's just a PC. It's the same as a Steam machine, other than it'll run Windows in this Xbox mode and whatnot. And at that point, it's really just, hey, this is your $1,000 PC that has a 5080 equivalent in it. That's basically the selling point for me at that point. It's no longer a new Xbox.
Right.
Not a bad thing, but it makes me a little bit sad because, just last week I was like, oh no, this thing is definitely a console. And Jeff Keighley was so wrong, Now I'm like, it is a PC device, So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's 100% okay to. For me, like that's the best news in the world. Like I am more of a PC gamer for where I care for. So when that is there, is like it's more of a PC. And the side thing is that it also plays Xbox games. Like that's the bonus to it. It's like the bonus isn't the bonus. Other people can look at this differently, right? They're like, I got this for an Xbox, and the bonus part is it plays PC games. And for me, it's the complete opposite. It's like no. This is like a PC, like an amazing PC that's going to fit in my living room. And bonus, it plays a bunch of my Xbox games that I had already. Like so, that's like fantastic for me. I would love that because there's lots of times that like. I want to play Red Dead Redemption, the 360 version that's upscaled through their emulation software that I already have a save for that's already backed up and all the other things are working that way. I would just rather do that. I would also like to do that on my PC just generally, which hopefully happens. But yeah, so for me, that's the way I view it. And that is, I don't know, I'm not really precious about anything.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so what Microsoft said at GDC, this brings us to question 2. Does what Microsoft said at GDC raise or lower your anticipation of Helix? Rudy?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, my first Xbox was the Series. I'm not super like hyped for, what Xbox as a brand can do. Now, in terms of the hardware, like I'm kind of like right there with like Carrie with like what he said. This is an exciting time to have access to the same library in multiple places. This is why I love Steam, period. It's where you can take your game, your save file, onto another device in a seamless way. And it's awesome. I am curious as to, how physical collectors will go into the swing of things and whatnot, because there are a lot of people that have a huge collection of Xbox 360, original Xbox, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But in terms of like hypeness for me personally, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say like I'm an 8.527. That's about as hyped as I am, with 10 being really hyped and 0 being not hyped at all.
And where were you before GDC?
I would probably say I was like a 5. I was very neutral because
Okay.
I don't have any brand association or any sort of nostalgia, because there are a lot of people that are nostalgic with Xbox as a brand. You were talking to me about the Halo 3 launch and like how that was like an amazing thing. I had none of that. I was always a Nintendo and Sony guy, and I was like, you know what, I really should appreciate some of these older titles, and like started looking at emulation, and I started watching Russ's videos, and then I was like, wow, look at everything that you can do with emulation, and yeah, that's just how it is. I don't know. I'm excited with the possibilities. Let me put it like that, because as of right now, we don't know everything, but this really truly could be a game changer for the gaming and console space as a whole. because there are people that will look at this and see an Xbox, not a PC. And then there are people like us that will be like, that's a PC that can play Xbox games. So it really depends on how it hits the market.
Carrie, did this raise or lower your excitement for Helix?
So before Helix, we had been talking about it so many times, and a lot of the things that we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool and wouldn't it be great? So we've talked about it at length many times on this podcast and have been proven correct with just our like open speculation of like, wouldn't it be gee whiz neato?
See that, everybody? You're watching the right show. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it was like I was indifferent like Rudy was, insofar as I was waiting for more confirmation of what was going to happen. We still don't like they teased with, hey, all of these Xbox games that you know and love, there's going to be new ways to play them. And I'm like, the only new way that's going to be playing is on PC. And Russ was like, PS5. And I was like, oh. And I was like, that would be a new way to play them. So in my head, it's still PC. And I have, in 2020, I thought that Xbox 360 emulation would have come into PC. And original Xbox emulation would have come officially to PC. Not play Xbox One and Xbox Series, but I thought 360 emulation was going to come. And then it didn't. And then years went by, and I was like, man, it's still not here. So now I feel like that feature alone, like Xbox Helix out of the way.
We'll talk about that feature soon.
Which one? The emulation one?
Emulation thing.
Right. So, I mean, like, but that alone is a 10 for me. Like, I'm super hyped for that because, like, I have Daytona USA and XBLA that I would love to play just from my official game and play in their official Xbox 360 emulator. I would love an easier way to get into those games, big time. I would love it, since they now own Activision and they can just talk to themselves about licensing. I would love it if Guitar Hero 2 and 3 was like, hey, backwards compatibility now supports all these Activision titles. Because they could just talk to them and it would just be like whatever license they need to do. But obviously music licenses would be a big hurdle, so those won't come. But I wish that those other Activision games could make it to backwards compatibility as well. That's another thing. So that already puts me at a 10. And then the other parts of GDC that a lot of people weren't following is like all Xbox Helix stuff. We learned about the GDK and we learned about everything else. But in the background, there's like DXR 1.2 and their SER, their shader engine reorganization.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, so there's big things there that technically there is no information in there. But it's like, again, this tease of like, here's this information. What are you going to do with it? And it's like, well, you just put this in my lap, so I have to assume that it means something. Like, you can't just say, here's all these old Xbox games and play them in new ways. Like, what am I supposed to think? I have to read between the lines. Likewise, for like DXR and SER, you have to read between the lines because that has not been applied to any AMD GPU ever. Like, not for RDNA 2, not for RDNA 3, not for RDNA 4. So it has to apply for RDNA 5. Why in the world would you talk about it at all unless it applied to RDNA 5 as well? And that has big implications because they also said, it's over 10x improvements in ray tracing performance over RDNA 2 to RDNA 5. And with SER, that can potentially even go even further. Like they are showing, like on a 5090, I think a 5090, path tracing was 2.3 times faster with shader engine reorganization. So you like looking at even bigger numbers of like, wow, path tracing and ray tracing is just going to fly on this box. So, yeah, there's like lots of cool stuff of like this as a baseline box, especially for games getting built all the time with ray tracing as mandatory. This is going to be a direct answer to help everyone.
I think for me, I'm more excited now than I was before because it feels a little bit more real. Before, a lot of us were going on like rumors and obviously, as Carrie said a minute ago, speculation. And the idea, like, if this box is something that you can buy for $1,000 and has that kind of power behind it, I think that's the selling point of the box. And at that point, they don't have to say, you buy this box because of the games. You buy this box because you're getting the power to performance, the power to price ratio that you're spending
Right.
is really, really good. And so you buy that, and then they throw those advertisements at you. So that's where I'm landing on this. I'm way more excited. The shader stuff that they're doing, I think, is exciting. The fact that, like, I'm thinking about doing a video about, I was wrong about ray tracing, because I've been saying all this time, I keep pointing to Rich and I say, Rich, say the thing that you always say. And he says the thing, from the Sonic the Hedgehog meme. And I'm like, stop worrying about ray tracing. Stop worrying about ray tracing. And then I see Crimson Desert, and I'm like, I don't know. We'll talk about it later, but the Digital Foundry video about Crimson Desert, and I was like, holy God, that looks amazing. And it's also running really, really well, but that's beside the point. I'm starting to come around on ray tracing. So to see like that huge jump in ray tracing performance that they're promising with Helix, if all of this stuff pays off, I mean, I'm very bullish on Xbox, but if it flops, then they need to get out of hardware.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Russ,
Yeah.
last week you said Helix is still an unknown. Do you feel like you know more now? And has it changed your has what we saw at GDC changed your excitement level for Helix?
So, the question that you first asked was like, does it raise or lower my expectations or excitement for the Helix? And it's both. Like it's higher in some ways and much lower in others. So it's higher from a hardware perspective. I'm like, this thing is cool. Like all the stuff they're talking about in terms of everything we've just been discussing, what it can do and the power and the potential price for it. I can't imagine they're going to make the next Xbox $2,000 or whatever, right? It's probably going to be a fair price for what you're getting. That's all exciting. And like Carrie said, PS5, Xbox, every time there's a new console, you're like, this is this is more powerful than my PC, but it's always locked down to those games, And so the idea of opening it up and stuff is very cool. And it does make me excited. But if it has parity with your PC already, then it kind of deflates my excitement about it as well. It's like, well, if I already have a nice PC, then there's no reason to get the Xbox other than just like acknowledging the value that has at that price point. And if I'm in the market at that time to get it, then sure, that makes sense. But that's that kind of feels like the death of the console as well, in the sense that you don't actually need this if you got a good PC. Like, as far as we can tell from the information, that was the other question you had, is do we know more about it? And I feel like I know less. Like, I do not understand what this Xbox can do. Like, yes, they say it'll play your Xbox console and PC games. What do you mean by console? What series are we talking about? Series, Xbox One, 360, where is this all coming from? And which ones are going to be emulated? Which ones are not? And can I emulate those on a PC too? Like, at what point is there any exclusive benefit to the Xbox console, to the Helix?
Oh,
other than
yes.
just the fact that it's a good price?
Yes, there is. The one thing that's like kind of between the lines, like, right, is because the GDK that they have now is like synonymous with, like, you do this for the GDK, the platform of your building to, it goes to Xbox and PC. They're effectively, one and the same. So at that point, you're like, well, then you're just building PC games, right? The one caveat with this is that Helix is a fixed platform. And when it's a fixed platform, you can target for Helix specifically. If you target for Helix specifically, that's the same idea of you buying GTA 6 on Xbox Series, and then you get the upgrade version for Xbox Helix. And then when you have fixed function hardware, you can do specific optimizations for fixed hardware that does not apply to open hardware. And then you're not making PC games, you're making a Helix specific build of that. And then that's the same thing of their smart delivery and all the other stuff. So if smart delivery can differentiate between, oh, this is just a regular PC build, just give them that, or hey, actually we have a Helix version of this, we're going to give you that. So there will in fact be Xbox Helix console versions of games. It'll matter a bit less than PC games, but 100% they will be able to, if in the eventuality that, I don't think this will happen, but if in the eventuality people are like, say, hey, actually, why am I going to get a PlayStation? They've not been making a bunch of exclusives. The exclusives that they have been making, I don't really care about. And I'd rather have the openness of PC and all those PC games that are exclusive actually more. Let's say that hypothetical, which is largely not going to happen, actually happens. And then Xbox Helix, is they sell 100 million consoles. Now all of a sudden they're in a space where developers are like, oh crap, we actually should make optimized versions of Helix games. And now you are getting for-fact Helix versions that are optimized for the Xbox Helix, while they can still export to PC as well, and then you have the graphic settings and everything else. But like when you do that, like especially with SER, and then you also think about like RDNA 5, there was an article that someone wrote in Japan, and they talked about the kernel logs from the Steam Deck Van Gogh before it was even out. This was January of 2021 that those kernel logs came out. It was like, oh, here's Van Gogh, and there was like all this information about it. So they did another thing on RDNA 5, and they were talking about how RDNA 5 fixes a lot of things with their dual ALU shader stuff. Remember the flopflation nonsense that happened with the PS5 Pro?
No.
Everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be 33 teraflops."
Oh yeah.
And then Cerny was like, "Actually, it's 16.7 because of how it works out." Compute-wise, how the engine works on RDNA 3, it was double wide, but it can only do one at a time. So effectively, it's half. You basically had RDNA 2 with this fake stuff. RDNA 5 now actually sorts that stuff out. So now you can actually double pump. So that means that the teraflop number that can be its peak FP32 teraflop number is actually closer to true than being completely false. So now you have all of these things that, like, if you were to look at this through the narrow lens of optimizing for the Xbox Helix, you can optimize that specific path for the GPU for Xbox Helix, because you're not going to be doing that on PC. You wouldn't be optimizing when you have NVIDIA cards mostly. You would do that for Xbox Helix.
I'm wondering if you buy, we'll just pick a game. We'll say, no, not GTA, some other, we'll just buy, Halo,
Just
whatever.
Crimson Desert.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Crimson Desert, sure. Well, I'm hoping for something like in the future, but you buy the game, you buy this game, and there's, you could buy the Steam version to play on Project Helix, or you can buy the Helix version to play on Project Helix. Carrie, you're saying that the Helix version might actually run better.
Better. Yes, if they optimize. If they optimize for that, correct.
That's
that
annoying.
Is,
I mean, it's good, but it's also
It
annoying.
makes sense.
right,
But
yeah.
it makes
But also in the sense of the Xbox Play Everywhere is going to be there, Play Anywhere or whatever. If you do buy the Helix version of Halo 7, for example, then yes, potentially you would also be able to play that on PC, right? Like say you've got a home PC. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So I see that. I'm not sold on this idea of the optimization being the one exclusive that the Helix has that would make me want to buy it personally.
Exactly. I would like to firmly press on the brakes that this whole hypothetical that I put out there pretty much requires them to dominate the next console generation. And
Right.
I think we should be very, very honest with ourselves when that likelihood is not going to happen.
I feel like
so this whole eventuality, I don't think is going to happen.
I feel like the
largely,
last
right?
5 minutes of this podcast, Carrie's in the driver's seat and he's just driving really, really fast, and we're all like, "There's a cliff ahead of us, Carrie." And then he's just like, slams on the brakes, and like we all end up in the front seat, like in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I am
Yeah,
going
so
to say, though, like... No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, to put it together for me, I am excited about the hardware, but I am less excited about the software and just how Helix works and everything. Just because I need more information. I need them to really sell it to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
ahead, Rudy.
like I was going to say that the hardware premise is probably the most enticing. And, Carrie, you mentioned, this has to be successful. And it almost seems like they are obviously targeting the Xbox crowd that is already there, but they definitely want to entice people that are in the PC space, that know what they're talking about, that are aware of what's happening in the hardware space. And who knows? I mean, if the value is there and this thing, is a $2,500 rig, being sold at $999, it might sell some people over.
For me, on like the PC side, I see a lot of like people that are like, "Oh, that's actually pretty awesome." When they're like normally didn't care about anything Xbox did because they played on PC, but they're also just tech heads. So they were just like, they were just gadget freaks. They just want toys.
I feel like I'm not sure if it was Russ or Rudy that just said this, but like I think it was Russ just said like he's not interested in the hard or the software, he's interested in the hardware. And that made me think of back when the Xbox Ally X was coming out. All of us were like, this is a complete 180 from then, because we were all like, I'm interested in the Xbox Ally X because of the software, because we wanted to see what Microsoft was going to do with the Xbox full screen experience, not the hardware. And now we've completely done a 180. Maybe we'll do one more 180 and that'll be a 360. And there's your Xbox meme right there. So let's move on to our third question. How do you think we're going to be playing the back catalog? Now, before we go any further with the back catalog question, I want to say real quick that Microsoft did mention at GDC they had efforts for game preservation, and they were pretty cryptic about what that means. Like, they didn't specifically come out and say exactly. They just said, you're going to be playing your old games in new ways. But earlier, leaker Nate the Hate, which has been pretty accurate recently, he said he claimed that Microsoft will add original Xbox, the OG, the Duke, Xbox, and Xbox 360 emulation to Windows in November this year. And it's still a rumor, but you know how I always do rumors. I'm going to ask two questions. Question number one, do you believe that rumor? And then question number two is, let's just assume that that rumor is true. If it's true, how do you feel about it? Does that mean that physical backwards compatibility is no longer going to happen for Helix if they're doing emulation to get there? So I'm going to answer first, and then I'm going to talk to the others. Do I believe it? Yes, I do believe that they're going to be bringing emulation to Windows in order to play these old titles. I do think that they've got some legal hoops to jump through in order to make that happen with licensing issues. Like, I don't think it's going to be the entire catalog. I think it'll be 100% be every single first-party title. But some of the third-party titles, they're going to have to, like, get other people to, like, give the okay, just because of, like, the way that the contracts work when they actually first sign these things. So I do believe it. Assuming it's true, does this mean no physical backwards compatibility for Helix? I think that if they're doing emulation, they don't plan on allowing you to take your old disc and put it in. That's what I think. Rudy, I'm going to start with you. What do you think, man? Both questions.
I think that. So first off, I think it's true. I've always, once the game preservation program that's currently there, once Phil Spencer, when he was in charge, said, "Hey, like, we have to stop now." That was kind of the smoke in terms of like that program and how it was established, and how it ran as we know it today. So I knew that like eventually for them to currently expand the catalog that's there and continue to add more things, they had to change how these games were actually played. So emulation makes sense. Emulation has always made sense for me personally. As far as how, like in a perfect world, I would be able to take a disc from my shelf, put it into my system or whatever it is, and it would pull the digital version from the cloud and have it run locally. And be like, hey, this is the emulated version that is there. This is the copy, blah, 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 blah. That's the perfect world. But I really don't think that's going to... I think they're going to go the way of Nintendo, and they're going to sell me Fire Red for $20. Like, that's just how it's going to be. They're going to sell me Red Dead Redemption, the Xbox 360 version. It's not going to be 20. It's probably going to be 60 or $70, and that's... Or maybe 40. I don't know. But that's just how it's going to be. That's how I see it. It's just going to be another storefront or something else that you can access in the Xbox app.
Carrie?
So I guess when it comes to like emulation, I think that the first thing that we're going to be looking at, especially when we look at the Xbox mode, right? The Xbox mode is this foundational layer to eventually get to Xbox One and Xbox Series as well. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to do OG Xbox and Xbox 360 initially on PC rather than Xbox One and Xbox Series, and that'll be at a later date as well.
But wait a second. Do they have to do series? Like series is already like those games are all play anywhere, aren't they? So they already
No,
have
so
PC versions of those.
let me jump in with that. So it's a little different. So if you say you have like an old Xbox disc, right? Let's use like Jade Empire as an example, right? You would think you could throw that into your Xbox Series and play it. No, you cannot. You can only play those that are already on their store that are like approved for backwards compatibility, which is only like 50 games on the original Xbox. So most Xbox games you can't actually play on an Xbox Series. But you can on an Xbox 360, which is really odd. So you can put that disc in an Xbox 360 and play that game, but not on a series. Like it's only the ones that are approved, and that's only 50 games through their storefront and approved for backwards compatibility.
No, I understood that. What I was saying is like they don't need to do backwards. Like they don't need to do emulation for series
Xbox One
games.
Yeah, they don't need to do emulation
Because they
for
have
Xbox One.
those are play anywhere games. So there are PC versions of those games, right?
So yes, but also
Okay.
no.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, so there are Xbox Play. There are like so. There's a lot of Xbox One and Xbox Series games that I own that are Xbox version games that do not have Play Anywhere. So I would not be able to play them without Play Anywhere. I would only be able to play the Xbox version of those through the compatibility layer, which you could argue is emulation. I would not say it's emulation. I would just say that it's done through the same path that the Xbox One and Xbox Series already does in the OS hypervisor, where they containerize the game and then run the game executable that way.
Gotcha.
To Russ's point, and to your point, Bill, where you think that you say that there's going to be this legalese that they have to fill out, I don't think that there's going to be any other legalese because it's going to fall under the backwards compatibility program that they did for the Xbox Series, where they had to vet all of these other games, where they had to go and do all the licensing part of it. So the backwards compatibility program that exists for the Xbox Series, I personally feel will be the same set that is playable on PC. So it'll be that original 50 Xbox games, and then the 600 or so whatever Xbox 360 games. And likewise, I don't know if you'll be able to do it because you do need a special DVD drive on PC to read those discs. But if you were to put the physical disc into your Xbox Series, it would then download the game. It would just verify that you had the game and say, okay, yeah, this is a legit disc, and then start downloading it. You would actually play off the download rather than off the disc. So that's how they would do it. I still think that there may be there may be some weirdo case where Microsoft sells a drive that can work on PC so that you can play physical Xbox games, physical 360 games, physical OG games, if it's in the approved list on this PC disk drive. I also still feel it's going to be like a very PS5 Pro, buy this attachment thing for Xbox Helix to play all of your physical stuff. So really when we think about emulation wise, it really is only going to apply to original Xbox and original and Xbox 360, where there will be for sure emulation happening. Even though it will be containerized like they already do. But that's basically my viewpoint on it. I do think it's going to happen. If it's November, that's dope. I think along the same lines like what we were talking about earlier today, like Valve really needs to release the Steam Machine now, because come November, when they come out all guns a-blazing, they're going to be like, Xbox Helix, look how awesome this is. And oh, by the way, Xbox and Xbox 360 on PC right now. Boom, boom, bang. And it's just going to be like... And then Steam, Valve's going to be like, buy our Steam Machine. It's, a little bit crappier than a PS5, and it's $800. It's like, they got to come out now. They can't wait for that. They can't wait for that sizzle.
Russ, nobody knows more about emulation. Nobody that I know knows more about emulation than you. So what's your thoughts on emulation for previous titles?
I think Carrie knows more about emulation than me, but I agree. So here's the thing: if it's just going to be those 50 Xbox original games, and the 600 is, Xbox 360 games is fair. Like, that's a good amount of games, right? I love the fact that I can take most of my 360 games, pop them into my Xbox Series, and just play them right now through that container layer. Like, it all works really well. When it doesn't, it sucks. Like the Lego Movie game was one. Like the other day, like I was, I think I told you guys already. I was like playing Halo Infinite. And my youngest was sitting next to me. He's like, "Dad, this is so fun." He's like, "I should start playing Xbox." And he goes, "What should I start with?" And I'm like, let's do Lego Movie Game, because that was the first one that my oldest son played, you know. And so I pop in the disc, and my Xbox Series is like, no, sorry, you can't play this one. You can buy it if you'd like, you know, for the Xbox One, but you cannot play the Xbox 360 version. Probably a licensing thing. I'm not even really sure. Either way, like, that's a game I've been holding on to for all these years. Can't actually play it. But most of the other games do work, and it is really cool. And I'd love to have that on PC. But I would like some sort of way to play my physical media on PC too, even if that's just like a check where, like, you know, you have a disk drive and you just put it in there like, hey, we notice you have this game. Let's go ahead and let you just play it right now. You know, like that's kind of what I would want to do. I don't see that happening, but that's just me, like, pie in the sky. So I like that they're doing this. You know, it really is going to, for me, it's going to be about the whole ecosystem, how it all comes together when Helix comes out. Like, how's this going to work? Like, cool, Xbox 360, Xbox, like, original games, emulation makes sense. How are we going to play Xbox One games, Xbox Series games on PC going forward? Like, how is that all going to work? That's like my big question mark here. I like that they're going this route with the emulation, but it feels like a very small, like, concession to give to the diehards, you know. But how is it going to work as a whole ecosystem? That's like my big question.
Well, the big question is for everybody who's watching right now, and it's actually three big questions. What are your thoughts on Xbox mode? Does what we heard at GDC raise or lower your expectations for Helix? And how do you think we're going to be playing that back catalog? Let us know in the comment section down below, and we're going to move on to our next topic, which is Crimson Desert is just about ready to launch. They're a week away. On the 19th, I think, is when they launch. And Pearl Abyss just quietly updated the Steam page, adding in de novo DRM. This is after pre-orders had already gone through. This sparked a whole bunch of backlash from people who've been pretty focused on the game, with some saying that, you know, de novo equals pre-order instantly, aggressively canceled. Pearl Abyss says that, you know, all of the basically benchmark videos and performance specs that they released were all created with the exact same implementation of de novo that's in the launch build. This includes the performance videos that were seen or showed off by Digital Foundry. And this made me wonder, there's a lot of people who they don't like DRM. I'm one of them. I've never been a fan of DRM. The way I look at DRM is all you're doing is punishing the paying customers, because almost always the pirates find a way around the DRM anyway, and so they get to play the game, but other people don't. Then there's the people who don't like DRM because they just don't want extra software installed on their hardware, which that's me too. I'm not interested in that. But then there's the people who are like, well, DRM usually makes the game run worse. And that's definitely a possibility. And just because the stuff that we saw from Digital Foundry had that particular version of de novo in there, well, that doesn't mean that the game couldn't run better without that stuff. So my question for you guys is, does de novo being put into a game make you pause before you buy a game? And secondly, will you be picking up Crimson Desert? So, Russ, I'm going to start with you.
So I'm just going to paste in a link to our notes right here in the chat. So there's this list on Steam that's like some guy created it, and it's just like, it's called de novo watch, and it's like a list of all the games that have it, 369, right? And I'm just looking through, and I'm like, you know, Resident Evil Requiem is on here, you know, Octopath Traveler 0. There's so many, like, beloved games on here. I've never once thought, like, does this have that de novo DRM? Like, it's not a thought I've had until right now. And maybe I'm just not, you know, fully immersed in all this kind of stuff. Doom the Dark Ages has it, you know. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm just kind of, like, I deal with DRM as it's presented to me, and sometimes it sucks. Like, I don't like that the Destiny one prevents me from playing it on Steam. Like, that sucks, or Steam OS. But in general, yeah, it's not something that's built into my buying decisions, unless it's something like that where it prevents me from playing it on an OS that I want to. That's usually the only time it rises to any sort of attention in my mind.
Okay, fair enough. Carrie, same questions. Does it make you hesitate
Yeah,
before you buy a game?
it does, but it is also like how it does. It does make me pause a bit, but it does not make me press on the brakes. I don't like if there's a game that I just really want to play, I will just accept that it has Denuvo on it and buy it and then play it and then hope that once months go by that they'll just remove it.
Which
like,
they usually do after because
which
they pay
happens,
for
like,
like we're going to license Denuvo for this amount
Yeah.
of time, hoping that by then anybody who was going to steal it couldn't steal it.
yeah, it's that whole like zeitgeist thing that like when the zeitgeist is happening, it's a spiked market increase of like people wanting to pirate. So it's like just making sure that you can try to secure those sales as fast as you can, and it doesn't matter if it gets cracked because you're just trying to hold back the dam for a bit until like you can just even out the stream. Yes, it does make me pause, but it does look pretty cool.
Okay, so are you going to pick up Crimson Desert?
I'm confused by the game. It feels to me like this super awesome tech demo of a bunch of crazy crap that can happen that I don't know what the purpose of doing any of the crap is. Like it's like, oh, you have a jetpack. Also, you can ride a dragon. You can do like you can drift with a horse, and this is like all this stuff like Digital Foundry, like John Linneman playing. I was just like enjoying his stuff, and he was just like talking about all the stuff. He's like, I was going this way and that way, and it's just like that's really awesome. Insofar as like an open world game, there's a ton of possibilities that can happen, and I really like that idea. I just some of the stuff that they're doing is like it feels like they're just putting a bunch of crap in the kitchen. It's like here's the kitchen sink and a bunch of other stuff. Go nuts. And I like that, but I would also like some type of story gel. Like there's a reason that I want to do some of these things, and I got no sense of that whatsoever by watching that, other than cool stuff happening.
So when I see Crimson Desert and I look at that game, it reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild,
Yes.
which famously does not have the story stuff that you're talking about. Like like Kyle is going to be mad at me for saying so, but the story in Zelda is bullshit and doesn't matter. When you play Breath of the Wild,
That's a take.
your story is what did you do? Like, okay, well, first I went over to the desert and I did this cool thing, and then oh man, I saw this a Lionel what are they called again? Are they Lionels? Lionel? Yeah, okay.
I think it is.
I saw a Lionel and I went over and I fought him and he kicked my ass. So then next time I went over to the forest area and I did that instead, and I saw these guys and they needed my help taking this like little base, and like you have these little moments. The story that you have is what happened to you, not what happened to the story in the game. The story feels like they tacked that on afterwards, which Nintendo admits that that's what they do.
So yes, so I don't disagree fully, but I would offer that Legend of Zelda the series has this.
I'm just talking about the new games.
Right, yeah, but I mean, like, when you see a Lionel, like, you're like, oh, I know what that is.
Right.
Like, you have the foundation, you have the tapestry of what that is in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Crimson Desert, I don't know what's going on or what the importance or the significance of anything. So I have nothing to go on to, and I don't know what it is. And I feel like I don't really get a sense of, like, I have a sense of wonder, but, like, not so much because, like, who am I? What am I doing? And even as cheesy as it might sound, like, I think I like how Bethesda kind of cheesily does all of their openers, where it kind of, like, gets the ball rolling of, like, here's the stakes, and the stakes are super high, and go do whatever you want. So I just hope that there's, like, the first hour of gameplay sets the stakes and makes you understand what's there, and that's my only hope.
Didn't John? I think the Digital Foundry video with John Lenneman, he says that the first hour, like he said, like the first few hours. Maybe I'm confusing him with somebody else, but he was like, yeah, the first few hours are not the best hours, but then you start to get the feel for the game.
So, the thing that I don't understand, because I was like reading between the lines of like a lot of stuff that was going on. Apparently, like people were like, I want to see the console version of this because it looks nuts. You're only showing the PC build. And they're like, okay, well, here's the PS5 Pro. And they're like, that's not quite what I was asking. And apparently, they did not even give like the game. They didn't give a code to John Linneman. They literally shipped him a PS5 Pro with the game installed and said, "Play that." So he couldn't even be like sneaky and be like, "Oh, I'll play it on PS5 and all that." No, no. Here's the entire thing. Play
Wow.
this thing. So people are like, "What the hell?" Like, why didn't you just show the, like? So there's like this whole thing going in on the background. Is like, and on the PS5 Pro, it can chug. And, there's lots of stuff going on, and the PS5 Pro is a big, it's a beefy thing. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens when the console version comes out. But ostensibly, it seems like it's a PC game.
Yeah, the thing for me about Denuvo definitely makes me pause, and it has caused me to not buy games in the past because I didn't want the game that much. You know what I mean? I was like, I looked at the game and I was like, oh, you know what? I'll pick this up. Oh, wait a second. You know what? You just gave me a reason not to. And so I've stepped back. But will it stop me from getting Crimson Desert? No, because I am super excited for Crimson Desert. All of the Zelda people that are super mad at me right now, I want you to know that Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. Okay? It's my favorite game of all time. But when I watch footage of Crimson Desert, it makes me feel like Breath of the Wild is giving me we have Crimson Desert at home vibes. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I want Crimson Desert. Well, we've got that at home. It's Breath of the Wild. Oh, yeah, but I want this one. And I'm talking about Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. So I'm very excited for this game.
Right.
Okay. Rudy? Same questions.
Well, it's funny because like Russ, thank you for sharing that list. I didn't even know that existed. And I'm sitting here like going through it. I'm just like, whoa, I had no idea that had it. And I'm just going through everything. I'm playing Requiem right now. And I had no idea that was there. But yeah, it doesn't really necessarily affect my decision, my purchasing decision, when it comes to actually, buying a game. It sucks though. And that there are some games where you tack that on and it does affect performance. We saw that with Resident Evil 4 Remake. They slapped that on and that did affect the performance of the game. So when they removed it, it made sense for them to remove that. And I also agree with Russ in the sense that if I do want to play a game and there is some sort of anti-cheat software that stops me from playing the game that I want to play on the platform that I want to play, then that hinders my experience, the paying customer. You shouldn't punish, you shouldn't reward bad behavior, or the opposite. You shouldn't punish good behavior when, stuff like this happens. Is that going to affect my purchasing decisions though? Probably not. I'm very selective with my time now in terms of like the games that I do play. And in terms of Crimson Desert, dude, I don't know what the heck is going on half the time. Like I've seen a couple of trailers here and there. Not sure what the story is, not sure what's going on. But the stuff that I have seen is kind of wild. And then when they release the recommended spec sheets, have you guys looked at that?
They're crazy low.
It's super low.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And I'm like, what sorcery is this? How is this looking this good and running what? Like, I don't know. I like the PC that I just built has like a 5080 in it. Like I wanted to, slap that in there and, really for Requiem more than anything else. But now I'm kind of just like, I would have been fine with my 3080. I would have been okay with that. And my AM4 socket.
You'll get all the extra bells and whistles. Like I think that the Digital Foundry. So Digital Foundry has multiple videos about it. The first one is PC specs, and they wanted to fly a guy out. I forget which guy. They wanted to fly one guy out.
It's probably Alex.
It was Alex.
Alex Battalion.
Yeah. Okay.
Typically,
they wanted to fly him out, and he was
guy.
like, "I can't fly out right now." So they said, "Okay, well, here's what we'll do. We're going to film based on what you tell us to do. So you tell us what you want us to do. We're going to film that for you, and we'll tell you exactly what specs we're using."
Wow.
And so that's what they did. And when the guys at Digital Foundry got the footage, they were like, well, this is very, very impressive. But they were not on, like they were on Ultra, but they weren't on Cinematic. And so when you look at what they have from Digital Foundry or on that video, those are not the best settings, and it's still unbelievably gorgeous. Like, I can't wait. I'm not going to be able to run cinematic or whatever, but somebody is, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. It's going to be bananas.
Yeah, so looking at the minimum specs, I would just brought it up as you guys were talking about it. So it says recommended RTX 2080 for the graphics card, or a 6700 XT on the AMD side. That's fairly nice, you know. The storage, though, they say 150 gigabytes available space. That always bothers me. Oh, man. It's going to take me all day to download.
The 2080 came out in 2018, by the way. Like, that's a very old card, and it's like that's the minimum specs. That's crazy.
That's the recommended specs. Minimum spec is GTX 1060.
Oh, let me see when that came out. GTX 1060. Let's take bets. Carrie, when did it come out?
Oh, he'll tell you the exact date.
2014, I want to say.
Okay.
I was going to say 2015.
No. Yeah, 1060. No, because I got my 1080 Ti in 2016. So I'm going to say 2016.
I said 2015.
I hate Carrie so much. He got it right. Carrie, what month did it come out?
He got it right.
I'm trying to think of when I got it, because I got my 1080 Ti for $625, which was a fantastic deal, and I think I got it in March. Crap, I don't remember, but I know
July.
It's 2016. Oh yeah,
July. So he was wrong. Finally. All right.
Oh.
All right. So I guess that we'll wrap up the show at that point. Rudy, you've got a lot of videos out there that you've made. Can you tell people where they can find them and what kind of videos they are?
Yeah, it's at Baldly Rudy. That's BALDLYRUDY on everything, on all the platforms. I mainly do PC handle, just powerful mobile tech. I like powerful mobile tech, things that you can take with you, because most of the time I like to just take things elsewhere, not in this room, and touch some grass while I test things out.
Awesome. What's your next video that you're working on?
Shoot, man. There's I got the MSI Claw 8.8 that just arrived today that I've got to work on. And then I also need to do, what's it called? I need to do a chair thingy. And then, also I have a laptop that's coming in from Asus, the Asus Tough, the one with the 393 chip in it.
392.
Yeah, 392. Thank you. I'm
He's
excited
right again,
for that. That one is... No, it's okay, because dude, the amount of power that you can render on those things, cutting through DaVinci Resolve. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about production stuff, but still super cool stuff. I love it.
Very cool. Carrie, what's your next video, man?
My next video, I don't know actually. I have some things running in the background, so I don't know. I had finished up my quick video about why Steam Deck 2 won't be ARM, because I wanted to get that done. I'm working on some things in the background that are kind of super, super secret. I don't know if I'm going to make any progress.
All right, he's got the Steam Deck 3, everybody, in case you're wondering what he's
gonna
talking about.
He's got it there.
Russ, what are you working on, man?
So I got a video coming out. I just I compared the Steam Deck to the Xbox Ally and the Legion Go S. So all the budget or entry handheld PCs, and which one stacks up against the other. And just, went through all my columns and be like, okay, I like this for this and this for this. And so that's a long video. I think it's 47 minutes long. That'll be out the day before this one goes live. So that'll be out already. And then I'm leaving tomorrow to go for spring break. We're going to go visit my family and Washington State and a couple other places. But I got a couple more in the hopper. I don't want to talk about them, but I got some exciting videos that I've been working on all week that'll come out while I'm gone.
Cool.
And you're going to find those over at youtube.com/retrogamecore. You're going to find Baldly Rudy at youtube.com/ you guessed it, Baldly Rudy. And you're going to find Carrie's stuff over at youtube.com/thefox. I put out a video. What's that?
I said just like that.
Just like that. Yeah, you got to throw the cough in there. Sorry. I just put out a video today that featured all of these guys were in the video. And it was us saying, what would we change about the Steam Deck if we were in charge of it? So that video is up on my YouTube channel over at youtube.com/NerdNest. And that's going to do it for this episode of the NerdNest podcast. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for the past 2 hours, almost right on the dot. You could have been anywhere, but you decided to spend your time here with us, and I appreciate that. These guys are going to say goodbye in a second, but I'm going to say stay rad.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.